Hi, it's me, Reedy, with another instalment of Beat the First Man, and it's a packed show today. We've got not one, but we've got two zooming ins. We're joined by our Road to Wembley team, Biggleswade, as we talk about their upcoming FA Cup match against AFC Dunstable, and we have some surprise guests on another zooming in. Keep your eyes peeled for that one. Ted is back, and this week he's handing out a little knob of the month for August. We'll also find out how his treble got on last week, how old, hammer time, and a brand new feature. So what are we waiting for? Roll the titles. Yep, so there you go. Loads to look forward to on today's show. We're back to having a little intro before the titles as well. I didn't like it with the titles at the start. So a new feature to boot as well. So as always, just do a little bit of housekeeping before we start. The big bit of housekeeping though, there will be no show next weekend. I'm having a well-earned break from entertaining you people. So there'll be no show next weekend. It'll be back the weekend after. The fire exits are here to my right and here to my... No, sorry, that's another thing. So if you are new to the show, make sure you subscribe down below. There should be a new fancy little subscribe thing. Put your comments underneath, put your likes on the top because they're good. We like those. We don't like no likes. They're not so good. But most of all, click the little bell because we do like you to not miss another episode. Because what we don't like is having loads of subscribers and then loads of you not watching. That's not a good combination. So let's get on with the madness, shall we? Let's stick this little baby on. Yes. Stoke Gabriel and Torbay Police. So you may remember last week. In fact, no, leave that on. Ow. We said they had Sidmouth Town at home and we felt it was a game maybe they could win. So here's your surprise guests. It's me and the boys from Stoke Gabriel and Torbay Police on zooming in. So now there's a reason why I've got three lads from Stoke Gabriel and Torbay Police on here tonight, but we'll come to that shortly. Gentlemen, how are we? We are joined by Dennis Perry, first team manager at Stoke Gabriel and Torbay Police. How are we, Dennis?
I'm absolutely fine, thank you.
Good stuff. Matt Hesford, captain.
Hi, Reedy.
Yes, not bad, Matt, yourself. And we're just going to call you Jacob for now, but we'll come on to your new nickname. Jacob Osborne. How are you, Jacob?
Good, thank you.
Good stuff. Right. So first off, how is life as a newly merged club? Obviously, this is your first season as Stoke Gabriel and Torbay Police. How is life as a new club?
It's okay. Just use as normal.
Yeah.
Nothing's really changed there.
How's it been accepted by the sort of other teams in the league? Are they just taking you as Stoke Gabriel as you were before, or has there been a sort of change in attitudes from others around the league? Or
I don't know.
No, not really. I think everything's just continued as it is. To be fair, everyone's quite accepting that we've merged together, and I haven't seen any real response from anyone. To be fair, anyway.
No. Well, that's good. That's a good sign. So obviously the season. This is at you, Dennis. The season didn't start brilliantly. So we had 5 defeats to start with. But to be fair, they were defeats which were, I'm going to call them gentle defeats, for want of a better phrase. You were always in games. I mean, there was a 2-1 defeat. There was a 3. They were all, you were within touching distance of results, weren't you? In reality.
Yeah, as you say, we were missing our number 9, our key striker. Really, we based our pre-season playing through him really, and he's been away. Come back. Last Friday, and it showed on Saturday. We were back to how we should be playing football, really.
Yeah.
And the way in which our pre-season went.
So Saturday, so you had Sidmouth at home.
Now, before on Saturday's show, I said that I felt it was a game that was, I'd looked at the table and I said it was winnable because they were down by the bottom. They'd struggled to start with. And there was just something about it. So what was the mood in the camp like prior to the game? Before we give away the big secret, which I think people have probably fucking worked it out by now. But what was the mood like prior to the game? Was it a game you genuinely thought, this is the one, we've got this one?
Yeah, 100%. All the lads were buzzing in. The warm-up went really well. Lads were just all focused on getting out there and just getting the job done really on Saturday.
And for you, Matt, obviously you were there last season and through the trials and tribulations of last season. And I think before we get on to the results, hats off to all those that played last year and kept the club at the level that they've managed to stay at. Because without those lads stepping up to the plate last year, it wouldn't have happened, would it? It would have gone as a club and you'd have had to start again lower down. So
yeah, I joined at the back end of last season just for the few games just to help the lads out. Credit to all of them that turned up every week and continued to perform at this level that and keep the club alive.
Yeah. So how did you sense yourself, having been in a changing room that had some beatings, did you sense that Saturday there was something different about it and there was a result in the offering?
There was. We changed our preparation a little bit going into the game. And I think that helped massively. Having the squad back together. I think Saturday was our first time we had a full squad as well. Didn't we? Pretty much. Bar one player. So it was definitely a better feeling around the club. And going in even into the warm up, there was definitely a different mentality going into the game on Saturday.
Now, hat-trick hero, as you'll now be known, Jacob. Now, when you play for Stoke Gabriel or Stoke Gabriel and Torquay Police, we don't do hat-tricks and scoring 3 in the first half. What's all that shit about? What do you think you're doing?
Nothing. I had my number 9, man, that was why.
So, I mean, I'm presuming that Jacob was the number 9 that you were talking about earlier, Dennis, that you'd been...
No.
Jesus Christ. Who's the number 9?
Tell it. He was playing Conference North last season for Nuneaton Borough.
Right, okay.
And he went back to Birmingham for a few weeks and then he's gone back down now permanently. So yeah, it was a massive loss.
Yeah.
We have been struggling with him, to be fair. What he does, he brings a lot of assists into a game. He can hold the ball up top. And as I say, he got 2 assists on Saturday. He put Jossie through a couple of times and Jossie just found the back of the net, not a problem.
Happy days. So when the third one went in then, Jacob, what was going through your mind? Because for those who now don't know, it was 3-0 at half time. So when the third one goes in the first half, you must be thinking, happy days. How many am I going to get today? Or is this it? Am I going to be the hero on the first win in all these years?
Wow. I was thinking clean sheet and then I got put a left back, so the clean sheet was out the
window. Unfortunately, a couple of our key players got injured, so we had to take them off. So it's the reason why they got a little bit more into the game, because we had to change our shape slightly. Say Jossie had to go back to left back rather than being on the left wing.
Yeah.
And then our central midfielder, the engine of the midfield, had to come off as well because he was struggling with his knee. He had an impact injury. So yeah, we team was slightly weakened, and yeah, it did show for the last 25 minutes, really.
Yeah, we'll come on to that now. So I was watching another game locally, and I'd gone on Twitter and saw it was 3-0 at half time, and you probably saw my tweet, which gave the old Joey from Friends face saying, "Fuck me, it's 3-0 at half time." I then got the message to say it's 3-2 with 5 minutes to go. So I was twitchy, and I'd never been to Stoke Gabriel. I've only been involved via this. So how were you feeling when it got back to 3-2? Was your heart sinking, or did you still feel confident?
No. I was still confident we hang on to the 3-2 result, to be fair. We did have, it should have been 5-0 up at half time. Jossie missed a couple.
I can't believe he got a hat-trick and he's been hammered for missing a couple.
To be fair, he should have scored 6 on Saturday. You hit the post as well, didn't you, in the second half? Hit the post, we hit the bar as well in the second half. So the game could have been done and dusted by the 60th minute, really. But unfortunately, as I say, a couple of players had to come off injured. So it is what it is, but we still hung on and got the win.
So let's take it on to injury time. Referee puts his whistle to the lips, blows for full time. What what was the reaction of the players, the supporters, the officials, everybody? I mean, how did it feel first off, and you know, how much drink was sunk on Saturday night?
Jossie.
Relief more than anything, I think. We knew it was coming. It's not like we've not expected. We had a great pre-season.
Yeah.
It's a good bunch of lads. We've got a mountain of youth in the team alongside with a few experienced players. We knew that it was coming. This wasn't going to be a season where we're going to struggle and be down the bottom. It's just unfortunate the first 5 games happened as they did. No excuses that we didn't perform well enough, but 100%. And at the end of the day, when that whistle went at the end, I think the expectation was that we're going to win today. So it's more relief for me anyway, than just getting that first win, rather than not just elation, but relief definitely.
Now, I think now is a good time to let people in who've been watching this for quite some time into a little secret. So a certain mid-table Gary, the chairman from last year, he wasn't there, was he?
No, he wasn't.
He only missed the win.
Yeah, he was up at a car show, and then he'd come back today. His car broke down as well, I think, on the way back.
It's a shocker. I couldn't believe it when I got the text to say obviously you'd won, and you'll never guess what, mid-table Gary missed it. I thought, I can't believe it. All the trials and tribulations of last season, and then he misses the win. So I guess from there, what's the aim now for the rest of the season? You've got the monkey off the back, that's gone now, and you know, I think you've put that one to bed. What's the aim now for the rest of the season?
It's just consistency. Just keep growing out results week in, week out. There's no pressure on the lads. If there was any pressure, then obviously they should feel relieved now. But yeah, going forward, wherever we end up, really, we'll see at Christmas, and then determine how we're going to play at the second half of the season, really.
Yeah, and I think, you know, there was always that first win was always going to be the one. It was getting that, and I think now you've got that. Like I said, the monkey is off the back. Those who do joke about it, and we've had some fun with it, but in a kind way, in the fact that we backed you. But those who joke about it around the rest of the league, that's gone now because you've done it. So you know now now it's like you say, it's about striding forward now and just picking up some more wins and climbing the table and finishing. You never know, mid-table. But I've got one last thing. I've got a presentation for you, gents. So any of the Stoke Gabriel lot that have watched this show over the last few months, whatever, I used to do a thing called 4D, and it was a little award that went out for somebody that had happened in that week in football, which was special or was excellent, and it was a little award that I gave. And so 4D was quite simply, it was a very expensive award. So I put on a very special hat. I have a very special toilet roll holder, and the award is called 4D, and it's quite simple. That's 3, and doff. So Stoke Gabriel and Torbay Police, you are this week's, without a shadow of a doubt, get in 4D. Get in, boys. Oh, I'm so pleased for you. Genuinely, lads, thank you so much for coming on. I know it was all a bit short notice, but we had to have you on after that victory. Good luck for the rest of the season. We will still be backing you. We'll still be following you. We're not going to discard you just because you've won a game. We're right behind you now all the way, and on to bigger and better things. So, Jacob, Matt, Dennis, thank you so much for coming on. Good luck for this weekend, for your next game. Who have you got Saturday?
Northampton or goal at home.
Easy one.
It's going to be a tough game, but certainly a winnable game. They're
all winnable now, Dennis.
100%. The actual hero getting every goal every week now.
Gents, thank you so much for coming on. Once again, massive congratulations on the victory. I'm so pleased for everyone involved with the club, everyone last season who was involved with the club, all of you. I'm so pleased for you, genuinely. I've never celebrated a victory of a club that I'm not really connected with in any way as much as I did on Saturday when that tweet finally came through that said full time. So, as I say, good luck for the rest of the season, gents. But for now, it's back to the show.
So there we go. They only went and won 3-2, 3-0 up at half time. up against it a little bit in the second half as it got pulled back to 3-2. But finally, we've been waiting well over a year for it. We got that first victory. So a massive shout out to the boys at Stoke Gabriel and Torway Police. I want to give a big shout out to those young kids who played last year as well and suffered some of the beatings. And even some of the older kids, the likes of Roger. Remember him from FA Cup zooming in? Who also played, who kept the team at the level they're at now. That was important. It allowed them to do what they did in the summer. It's allowed them to continue at a decent level. They've now got that win. And what a glorious feeling for everyone involved in the club. And Gary, where were you? You were at a car show. I think you need to find another car show for next weekend if they're going to keep winning when you're not there. But anyway, it only leaves one thing to say. We're going to win the league. We're going to win the league. Now you're going to believe us now. Too soon? Okay, let's see how they get on next week, shall we? So that's fab. How'd you follow on from that, to be honest? But there's only one way to follow on. We're going to go get your guessing hats on and we'll have a bit of how old. So simple enough task. I put up a picture of an old footballer. All you got to do is guess how old they were when it was taken. If only it was that easy. So this week we head to the land down under, and a man who was actually born in England but at the age of 16 emigrated to Australia, turning down a pro contract at no less than Leyton Orion in the meantime. He spent his entire playing career in Australia, but it was his international career where he is actually a bit of a standout. So he amassed 31 caps for the Socceroos, scoring 5 times, including 3 games at the 1974 World Cup in West Germany. This is where he had his moment of fame. I say fame, the loosest term of the word. So he became the first Australian to be sent off at a World Cup. But it gets better than that. So he was actually shown 2 yellow cards in the game against Chile, but reserve official Clive Thomas, there's a controversial character for you. Kids, go on YouTube, Clive Thomas. He realised that our man had been booked twice and told the linesman, so 4 minutes after his second yellow card, our man was actually sent off. So he played 4 minutes when he should have been off already. Brilliant. Who needs VAR? Anyway, that's all very interesting, I hear you say. That's all very interesting, Reedy. But what we want to know is, when this picture of Ray Richards was taken, how old was he? So, simple enough, answer to be revealed later on in the show. So, time for a bit of fantasy football, Dad v Lad. And sad news, I'm afraid. This week we are not joined by Kean on Dad v Lad Fantasy Football. He's been a bit poorly, so we're just going to have a quick update this week. The worst of it is, it was my best week. We actually drew. We drew 64-64 this week. My inspired decision to captain Vardy, and they are playing Norwich, paid off. So it leaves us with the score at Lad 201, Dad 173. So it's still tight enough after only 3 weeks. No Premier League matches this weekend anyway, so there's no team selections to discuss. So it could have been a worse week. I did ask Ian if he had any messages for you viewers, if he had any little words of wisdom he wanted to give to you. And his only words of wisdom were, Antonio is still carrying me. It's fair to say. If Antonio gets injured, the boy's knackered and I'm going to catch him and overtake him. So anyway, Gary Hamilton and his Kaja Warriors, they still lead the way in the league table. 267 points. An impressive haul that is. He's nearly 100 points ahead of me after 3 weeks. Jesus. But at the bottom, we've got a new name at the foot of the table. Elvis Chitawa and his Toru Nesu FC on 106 points. Now, if any of that's rude, I'm really sorry. I don't know, it might be. I might be just hoodwinked, but if it's not, then again, I'm sorry. So plenty of weeks left for us all yet to get loads of points. So keep watching Dad v Lad Fantasy Football, and let's hope Kean is well enough to come back on in a week or so's time. Now, it's new feature time, Klaxon. Let's have a look.
Look like it.
Complete with a jingle. Get us. Thank you to Chloe for producing the jingle. Took her all of 2 seconds. That might not be funny. Took me longer to talk her into doing it than it took to record the jingle. So it's as simple. We find a footballer or an old footballer with a lookalike. Hence a lookalike. See what I did? Yeah. Genius. Absolute genius. So this week we start with former goalkeeper Brad Friedel, who you may not have known, also appeared in that non-Christmas movie Die Hard. Not having it. It is not a Christmas film. So, here they are now. There we go. Brad Friedel and Bruce Willis in our first ever Look-alike EE. So, there'll be more to come next week in that fantastic feature, high money, high budget feature no less, Look-alike EE. I wonder if EE will sponsor it. Hello, EE? EE? Maybe not. So, Ted's back in the house. So, how are we, failure? Sorry, I mean Ted. Failure? How bloody dare you, really? Bloody West Ham, the flipping jellied eel eaters. Ted, what have I said about stereotyping people? You cannot do it anymore. Really, what have I said about not caring less what you think and what others think? They screwed up my treble, they can head straight to the dunce's step. The dunce's step? Do you mean the naughty step, Ted? No, Reedy, I mean the dunce's step. Okay, what else you been up to this week then? Seeing about my man, Ronaldo, being back in the house? Ted, not being funny, I mean, he's 36 now, and I think we're all a bit bored with hearing about Ronaldo, let's be honest. He is, Reedy, but by God, doesn't he look it? Doesn't he look good? I mean, I think I've got a bit of a bear crush on him. Oh, Ted, I think it's probably best we don't go down that route. So, no Ted's treble this week, because it's time for August's Ted's Little Knob of the Month. So here is the Little Knob. Not to be confused with your Little Knob, Reedy. Rude. No, it's this Little Knob. So, any nominations, Ted, or have we just got an outright winner for the month of August? Reedy, it was so easy. It's just an outright winner. No questions asked. Oh dear. Who scooped the award, Ted? None other than Lego hair himself, Mikel Arteta. Ah, Ted, yes, the man who has steered Arsenal to such an impressive start to the season. When you say impressive, Reedy, do you mean shit? Yes, I 100% mean shit, Ted. Absolutely 100% shit start to the season. Defeats to Brentford, Chelsea and Manchester City, all without so much of a whimper. In fact, we've got a little clip here. Just watch this. There you go, Arsenal's goal of the season so far. Thanks for watching. Brilliant. So, the biggest thing about him that is getting on my tits, I have to say, every interview after a defeat, he says, I don't want to make excuses, but... and then promptly goes on to list a whole ream of excuses as to why they've lost. Maybe it's you're not a very good manager, Mikel. What do you think, Ted? He's a crap manager. Hard to disagree. So, Ted, I think it's fairly fair to say your Ted's Little Knob of the Month goes to Mikel Arteta. Well done, Mikel. You finally put some silverware on the shelf for the Arsenal fans to cheer about. There you go, Arsenal fans. That's for you, from Mikel. So, he should have got it for his hair alone. Okay, well you just butt in when you... I mean, it wouldn't even move in a strong wind, would it? Okay, have you finished? Jesus. Anyway, we'll see you later for How Old the reveal, yeah? You will. Goodbye. So rude. Anyway, the road to Wembley. So you may remember at the start of the FA Cup, we picked a team in the extra preliminary round, blah, blah, blah. We're through to the first qualifying round, and we are now following Biggleswade FC. Now, the boys from Biggleswade and the girls from Biggleswade, they've joined in. They've been replying to us on social media. They've been retweeting stuff on social media. We like Biggleswade. We're becoming good fans of them. Anyway, it got better. So this weekend they play AFC Dunstable in the first qualifying round. All Biggleswade, aren't we? And following a little conversation on social media, I have got one of the managers of Biggleswade FC on Zooming in. So here you go. Here's joint first team manager Dave Northfield as we discuss the match, his hopes for the cup, and why this match is personal for Beat the First Man. So here is Road to Wembley. Zooming in.
So, delighted to say I am joined tonight by none other than our Road to Wembley team joint manager, Dave Northfield of Biggleswade FC. Come on, the Biggers. How are we, Dave?
Very good. Thank you very much.
Good stuff. So, first of all, there will be a lot of people out there who don't know about Biggleswade FC. I know they were formed in 2016. I know you haven't got your own ground. I know you're a joint manager. Other than that, the sales floor is yours, my friend. Tell us about Biggleswade.
Well, like you said, formed about 5 years ago. We were originally an under-18 side under Biggleswade Town's banner, and were very successful. We had 2 years in Furlough Non-League, which is the Eastern Counties Youth League, which is a midweek league, and managed to win their championship 2 years running. And it was a good side. We originally set it up with lads that had been released by pro clubs. We had Leyton players, we had Ipswich, Cambridge, Stevenage. We had a good set of lads, and just took it on from there. One of them, which you may have read up, was Keenan Davis, who's now at Villa. Yeah. So that was how we set it all up. And into the second year, the truth is, Biggleswade Town were not looking for a reserve team or anything like that. So, we didn't want to let the boys suddenly disappear, because you see it happen with under-18 side and people drift away. So we literally took a decision. Myself, Mark Inskip, who's the joint manager with myself, we made a decision to try and get it set up as a side, and we applied for step 6. We spoke to Jeremy Reynolds, who's now the chairman, and myself and Skip went to the first meeting down at Wembley, and we almost got laughed out, if I'm honest with you, because we set our business plan up, and I remember one of the guys there saying, and we put our business plan, we said we thought we would get up to 43 supporters watching us. Yeah. And the guy at the time said, you look like you've come here with your business plan on a matchbox, and you've written it on there, and you're not going to get that many fans, you're not going to get this money, you're not going to survive, and everything else. And we answered his questions, but basically we heard on the way home that we'd been unsuccessful. So we went away and thought, right, okay, we're going to have to be a step 7 side. But that evening I got a phone call from someone from the FA who said, "Are you going to appeal?" And I said, "Well, no, there's no point." He said, "Are you going to appeal?" And I said, "Well, in what way?" He said, "Well, because there was no reason for you to not make it. We had a step 3 ground to play on in Biggleswade Towns. We had put a good plan together. We'd had everything, organised. We had funds, and so we brought Jeremy along to the next meeting, who spoke on our behalf, and that again, this time on the way home, we got a phone call saying we'd been accepted to step 6, and it went from that. So it grew literally from that day. We knew we was going to be a step 6 side. We'd already applied for the Spartan South Midlands League, and to be fair, they'd backed us all the way, and we were put into Division 1 the very next season, and the rest is history, because we won it. Moved into step 5. Went first season in step 5. I think we finished 4th or 5th, and the very next year we won that. We were lucky enough to win the league, and we won it with a good number of points. We had a good season. I think we won the treble, won the cup, and a local charity cup. And of course, the next 2 years in step 5, we've had the seasons curtailed. But yeah, the first season we went on a great run for Christmas, and were one place off the playoffs when COVID hit, and we had 2 games in hand at that time, 3 points off. So I wouldn't be brave enough to say we'd have made the playoffs, but we put ourselves into a great position at that time, you see. So we've kind of grown so quickly, and with basically local lads. There's a lot of boys come from Biggleswade, a lot of the boys come from the villages around. So we're proud of what we've done, and with the players we've used. Obviously, we've expanded, if you like, a little bit further now, and we've got a few Bedford lads, and Pat McCaffrey comes from Luton. The skipper now lives in Watford. He is a local player to us. He's a St Neots boy, which is about 8 miles up the road. He's, because of his job and everything else, he's he lives in sort of the Watford area. But other than him, they're all, even with Tom, you know, they're still local boys.
Yeah, it's an incredible it's an incredible achievement, because having been involved in a non-league club going back a few years, I know how difficult it is below those Southern League levels to get out of those, because there's a lot of teams in that league who are quite happy in those leagues, and they're quite happy having good teams in those leagues, and they're not actually interested in going on any further. So to go through the leagues the way you have done and to get to where you are now is phenomenal, really, in the period of time that you've done it. It's a top achievement, it's got to be said.
Yeah, it is. And look, I mean, we'd be the last people that, when we started, actually, that was Skippy I was just speaking to on the phone, and we're just talking about when we set out, you know, the first season, we was more worried about whether we could hold our own, whether we was going to get our backsides kicked each week, you know, and then all of a sudden you settle down and we go on to win it. We then go up a league, and again, you still think the same, because Southern League Premier is a good, you know, it's a good standard. And the first year there was some good. I think Welling won it the season we went up. Berkhamsted won it at the same time, who are now probably favourites or second favourites to win Step 4 this season. They've got one hell of a squad, and you know, so that year we came fourth or fifth, and the next year we go and win it. And it's one of those things, you know. Are we? You know, we're not got our own ground, as you say. So yet we're playing at a level that we couldn't comprehend, if I'm honest. We're never believing that we was going to be this level, and here we are. And the majority of that group of lads are still playing now, and it's phenomenal. Some of them are in the reserve side, and we've now got reserve side. We've now got youth side. So we're you know, and the following we've picked up along the way has been brilliant. You know, a lot of lads that have played football against my sides or probably against me, albeit I was probably a very low-level footballer, but they come and watch us now, and we've got their sons playing for us. It's a brilliant position to be in. You know, it really is. And, you know, and as a Biggleswade person myself, it's quite proud to know you've set something up, and, you know, we're not brash. If you look at our Twitter, and Lee Rushbridge, who runs that, we don't get in the rows. We're not controversial on it. You know, we try and be a club that when people come, we're welcoming, and that they come back because they've enjoyed the experience. You know, that's what we try and do.
Yeah, no, and I mean, when I put, obviously, the reason you're on here, which we'll go on to shortly, is that I started this road to Wembley in the extra preliminary round. You beat Harborough in the last round, so I take you on as my new team. And you boys, straight away, as soon as I tagged you in it, your Twitter guy was all over it. He was retweeting, he was replying. Suddenly there's players replying, you were replying. And I just felt like, brilliant, these boys really want to be part of this. This is great. And, you know, I want you to go all the way. I want you to get to the first round proper. That's the dream. I know it's, you know, it's a big dream, but there's always one. There's always one story. And what a story.
Yeah. Well, I hope you're right. I mean, if you ask Skip, he tells the boys, I think he's told them last week, win 9 more games and we're at Wembley or something like that. So I think he's a little bit off his head, but absolutely. And like I say, when you know, we do latch on to any good publicity, because any publicity is good publicity, isn't it? So it's great when you say you get. I'd like to think, and you've liked the replies you've had from us. So yeah,
loved it. Oh, absolutely all over it.
We'll take first round proper if you can give us that.
So moving on to Sunday's game, because it is on Sunday at 1 o'clock at Bedford's ground against AFC Dunstable, who are in the same league as yourselves. So you're not playing a team a level above. Now, I've got a personal reason that I really need you to beat these boys. This is very personal to me. So their coach, I found out today, is Matt Langston. Now, he gave me a very, very bad day once, because he scored the goal for Histon that beat Leeds United in the FA Cup.
Oh, really?
So he's owed one. He's owed one. I owe him one. My son owes him one. He's owed one big time. So if I wasn't behind you before then, when I found that out today, the incentive was even greater for you to go out and beat them now.
Right. Well, I'll add that into the team talk Sunday.
If you can, that would be wonderful.
Yeah, so I won't be brave enough to run in front of them if we do score those.
So obviously there will be people out there who, for the FA Cup to them means third round onwards. There will be people who pay no interest in what happens in the FA Cup. till the semi-final stages, let's be honest. But to a team at your level, how much does Sunday mean to you and your team?
Oh, it's massive. It's massive. It's massive for the club. So before the players, even, it's the fact that the rewards from winning in terms of the money is the big thing for our. It's probably for me and Skip. It's what we talk about the most, because again, when you're borrowing a pitch, if you like, and with you pay to ground share. If we win Sunday, and I think Sunday would be, if we were lucky enough to win Sunday, about 2,400. But in truth, it's not 2-4, because it's 2-4 and a guaranteed. If you lose the next round, you get another award, even if we only go. If we was to get past. So it's the rewards from it for the football club are astronomical, because it's with what we're paying, we have to pay for 2 facilities to train. And everything that comes in, and of course you're relying on the supporters that come in. So to get that and to know that you're paying for a good part of your season is monstrous to us. So it may only be a couple of rounds. It might be, if we was to go out to Dunstable on Sunday with the money for losing, it's still, I think, about 2,500. You win, and then all of a sudden we're talking 5,000. If the miracle happened and we won Sunday and then was to get through another round, then you're talking close to probably £10,000. And for a football club that's run the way we are, that's almost like having a little win on the lottery for the football club. So for the football club, it's massive. For the players, no different, because when and I agree completely. That everybody talks about the third round proper, and I agree completely. But there's an awful lot of people that watch grassroots football, and this is, they'll get past and get to the first round properly, and probably they'll give it up once the non-league clubs go out of it.
Yeah.
And we'll probably get, because it's a Sunday games this week. I would imagine that will potentially give us an extra 100 fans, because of people that are not watching their clubs on Saturday. Some of the local players will probably come across and watch. So from our players' point of view, they get the added incentive of a bigger crowd. And as I say, that when it's these early rounds, I think there's a lot of local people take interest in that. It's a big game for us, and trust me, it's a real tough one, because Dunstable, I think, is sitting in the top 4 already.
Yeah.
They've won both games the weekend, so we're not daft. They've got one of the local legends up front for them in BJ Christie, who's scores probably 30 goals every season. So we're not daft. We know how tough a game it is. But we've got a reasonable record against Dunstable. We've lost to them. We've beat them. So they'll worry. I'm sure their manager will worry about us. They should be confident they'd be favourites. But it's winnable. It's not like we're playing a side a level above or 2 levels above, and you're going to be hanging on to their coattails. We have go into it with a good chance.
Yeah, and that's all you want, isn't it? It's a chance, isn't it? That's it. You've got
Correct.
A fighter's chance, and it's a good fighter's chance as well. Like you say, you're not playing a Barnet from the conference or anything like that at this stage. It's this is a game which is winnable. And it's just about who turns up on the day and who performs on the day in all reality. So how far can you carry beat the first man with you? This is the $1 million question. So I'd like to stick with it. So far, obviously we had the first game which Harborough won. We then had Harborough. So Harborough are the team that I live closest to. So occasionally I've popped along to watch them. I couldn't get to your game because I was at Ellen Road watching Leeds Everton, so I had to give it a swerve. So I've now had to jump on your back. Now I'd quite like to stick with the club for a few rounds. So realistically, what's the dream? How far is the dream?
If I'm honest with you, the dream would be to win 2 more games. If we was to achieve 2 more games, it's like I explained, because of how it would, the position it put the club in.
Yeah.
We'll take beating Dunstable Sunday if we could beat Dun. If we're lucky, BJ Christie's got to go somewhere for the day, and his wife won't let him out, or his girlfriend won't, and we don't have to face him. And and hopefully Sunday causes them a problem and they turn up with the reserves, which will do us. But yeah, look, last season we were so close. Last season we got past this round and we played Canvey Island, who were been a very big side club in the past, and I think are going back the right way again. And we took them the penalties. We were 2-0 down, took them penalties, and and it's kind of what if, big what if. And if we could win Sunday, that'd be wonderful. If you can be with us for 2 rounds, that'd be great. If we are really lucky and we have the luck on our side, and let's be fair, we'd need it. If we get the luck on our side and get through 2, we'll be very happy.
Yeah. Well, like I said earlier, like the X Factor, there's always a story in the FA Cup. Yeah. So this is the story. I can feel it coming. So, yeah. Dave, for people who don't know when the game is, where the game is, when is the game, where can people go and watch it? How can they find out about it? How can they find out more about Biggleswade?
Well, lots of information about ourselves is on our website. We play at Bedford Town's ground, which is called the Eyrie. I'd love to give you the postcode, but I'd have to go through my phone. But Bedford Town are a very famous club, and all the details there. But every detail is on the websites and on social media. It's 1 o'clock kickoff. I believe the ground will probably be open from about 10:30. You can pay on the day on the gate, or you can purchase tickets online today. And anyone that turns up will be made very, very welcome. We're a friendly club.
Well, I will be in Devon because I'm travelling down to Devon on Saturday on my week's holiday. But trust me, on Sunday, I will be annoying the wife by being on Twitter quite a lot to see how you boys are getting on in the FA Cup. Well, and I'm quite nervous for you already. And I'm not even involved. It doesn't really, I'll just jump on bloody Dunstable's bandwagon if they were to win. So it's like, I really want you to. I'm so up for you. Having read your story today and how far you've come in such a short period of time, I really want you to win this game so badly. I want you to get through to the next round.
Well, I'll be excited if I have to speak to you again in a couple of weeks because you want to talk about another round.
100%. And even better, I mean, dare we whisper it? What about if you drew Biggleswade Town?
Oh, don't whisper it, please.
Okay. Right. So, people, Sunday afternoon, 1 o'clock, Bedford Town's ground. The boys from Biggleswade up against AFC Dunstable. If they win, we'll have Dave back on here in a couple of weeks talking about the next round. If they lose, sadly, Dave, we won't see you again unless we get you in the trophy, because I'm doing the road to Wembley for the trophy and the Vars as well. So you never know. We could be back again. But Dave, thank you so much for coming on. Much appreciated. Genuinely, the best of luck on Sunday. I hope it goes your way. And I hope your man is injured on Saturday and can't play that game. And
we don't want him injured, but yeah.
Just for one game. One game's all right.
Yeah. Pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much.
No problem at all. Cheers for that, Dave.
Thank you. Thank you.
There we go then. So Sunday afternoon, Biggleswade v AFC Dunstable being played at Bedford Town. So if you're anywhere near Biggleswade, go and watch it. Cheer on the boys from Biggleswade. I'm going to put some social media messages out on Saturday. Please get behind them, retweet them, reply to them, really push. Let's cheer for Biggleswade and really get behind, show them some encouragement and get them through to the next round, because that's what we all want. But for now, what we all want is this bad boy. Yes, indeedy. The big inflatable hammer, which can only mean one thing. It's hammer time. Yes, indeed, it's hammer time. Now, it was a struggle this week. The bloody defences are at it again, trying not to concede goals. Man City tried. They got 5 against Arsenal. Does that count, though, getting 5 against Arsenal? Lazio nearly did it. They beat Spezia 6-1 in Serie A, but not quite good enough. It's got to be 6 goals or more. I had to go to Egypt to find a winner. Egypt, no less. So it was a match between the very originally named Pyramids FC. I shit you not. Pyramids FC. Dear God. Against Ghazi El Mahala in the Egyptian Premier League. That wasn't on Sky Sports at the weekend, was it? So, all was quiet until 34 minutes. No goals, 0-0, no sign of what was to come. But 2 goals before the break and the Pyramids were suddenly in front. So within 7 minutes of the restart, though, it's 4-0 to the Pyramids, a quick-fire double. And the Ghazi fans had their heads in their hands thinking, God, that YouTube bloke's going to have his hammer out shouting, "Hammer time!" They were right. A fifth came with 20 minutes remaining, and all that was left was a goal 9 minutes from time, which saw the Pyramids complete a comprehensive 6-0 victory. So that just leaves one thing. The chair is Ghazi El Mahala, and of course the hammer is the Pyramids. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pyramids FC, hammer time! Hammer time indeed. There we go, and extreme close-ups too. We are rocking it this week. Word is the Pyramids FC pitch was a bit sandy. Not sure how true that was. So the Lineal European Cups, the eagerly awaited Lineal European Cup final between holders Freiburg and their trip to Stuttgart. Let me tell you, it did not disappoint. So 3 goals in the opening 20 minutes saw Freiburg race into a 3-0 lead. They've already got the Mr. Sheen out ready to polish the trophy for the following week. But incredibly, Stuttgart scored twice in injury time at the end of the first half, making it 3-2. However, that was it. Scoring was done. Freiburg retained the trophy. They take it home with them. So when after the international break, it'll be Freiburg who hold the cup going into the next set of games. In the Lineal UEFA Cup, you may remember it was Susanna Hoffenheim defending the trophy. Borussia Dortmund, who just lost the Lineal European Cup, were now up to play in the Lineal UEFA Cup. What an opportunity to get themselves back in it. So Dortmund led twice, and Hoffenheim, Munas de Boer scored in the 90th minute to make it 2-2. Now remember, a draw was all that Hoffenheim needed to retain the trophy, so 2-2 in the 90th minute, done and dusted, they're going to take the trophy home. But wait, no, they hadn't reckoned on one thing. Erling Braut Haaland. 92 minutes in, scores a winner for Dortmund. Ladies and gentlemen, we have new Lineal UEFA Cup winners, Borussia Dortmund. So Freiburg hold the Lineal European Cup, Borussia Dortmund hold the Lineal UEFA Cup, and after the international break, they will be back defending their trophies. 10 goals across 2 finals. That's what these trophies mean to these teams. Brilliant. Love it. So, Ted is returning. I can hear the pitter-patter of little tiny bears. Leave the hammer alone. Jesus Christ. So, Ted, have you nailed it this week then? Do you come from the land down under? Yes, very good, Tom. Ted. Tom? Who's Tom? A song about Australia. Very good indeed. Neighbours. Everybody needs good neighbours. Ted, are you just going to keep singing random Australian songs or song about Australia? Home and away, closer each day. Enough. Right. Just give me a guess. How old do you think Ray Richards was? I was enjoying that reading. Anyway, he looks like he's lived in the outback for some time, that fella. But I'm going to go for 34. Well, let's find out, Ted. When this photo of Ray Richards was taken, he was 28 years old. So near, Ted, but yet so far. Bloody boomerang thrower. How was I meant to guess that? He needs to disappear off of Crocodile Dundee. Okay, Ted, right, we'll see you in a couple of weeks, yeah? Because we've got a week off next week. Thank Christ for that. A week without doing this shit. Okay, thanks, Ted. Ta-ra for now. So there we go. Sorry, people. That's the end of another episode, episode 54. It's been a fun one this week. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I've enjoyed doing it. I have to say, it's been one of my more fun ones of recording and sorting out. If you have and you don't already subscribe, please click the subscribe down below. Even better, a cheeky little like. We do enjoy those. Little thumbs up. Leave your comments below. Anything you think. Leave words of thought for Biggleswade. Anything you want. Most importantly, click the little bell so you don't miss another episode. But for now, though, no show for 2 weeks as I'm having a week off. So it's ding ding. Next stop Saturday, the 18th of September for what will be episode 55. But for now, people, as always, stay safe.